Let's talk Magic 2. Pull up some notes that I wrote down. All right, so what we got about 11 tracks, right? 11 tracks. Out of the 11, I happen to like 7. And out of those 7, I love 2 of them, right? So the tracks that I love, well, I like Office Hours, Motion, Bokeem Woodbine, uh, What This All Really Means, Slow It Down, Pistols on the album cover, One Mic, One Gun. Now, Abracadabra. You know, people say, why you didn't list that or mention it? Because the album has been out for less than 48 hours. Hasn't grown on me at the moment, but as of right now, it's not a song I've been playing repeatedly. Now, when I say a song, I'm talking about the entire experience, from the production to the rhyme to the mixing. Nas was spitting throughout the entire album. Many people, I don't know if they're catching that, but Sun been going crazy the entire album. But the songs that I listed are the ones that jump out to me. Office Hours, Motion, or King Woodbine. What This All Really Means, Slow It Down. This is on the album cover, One Mic, One Gun. I absolutely love Slow It Down and Motion. Now, all these people talking about is mid. They didn't deliver. Deliver what? The problem is expectations. I said this on Twitter yesterday morning. How are you going into a project expecting something when they haven't even told you what it's going to be? You don't know if Magic 2 was going to be just like Magic 1. You didn't know if it was going to be a conceptual album. How are you upset that it doesn't sound like previous work? Just listen to the previous work. Like, as fans, we got to understand that the entire album or anyone's album may not be necessarily for us. Not every song. People are trying to turn Nas into a niche artist, right? Where he's just a backpack boom bap chairman. He's trying to evolve as an artist. Why are we still stuck on old work? And I said that repeatedly. I don't understand why. Is the album a classic? I can't say that in 48 hours. 6 months from now, will I call it better than Magic 1? No, but I probably won't even compare them because it's two different landscapes, two different sounds, two different intentions. I don't understand why people were so in the uproar about this project. Some people love it, some people absolutely detest it. There's like a huge divide between fans. And that's another thing I'm noticing too. When you have a divide between fans, that could be a positive thing because it just shows that you've touched two different, totally different demographics and they both want what they want. And that highlights his multiple primes. Like, Esco is not in the business of recreating what we love. He's evolving. Every artist, no matter which lane you go in, whether it's painting, whether it's R&B, whether it's somebody on the basketball court, you're always improving your game. Why is it that when it comes to this one particular individual, it may be others, but I see it a lot with him, that you guys want the same thing over and over? And I'm just speaking generally. It's not everybody. It's not everybody. Because there's quite a few fans or supporters out there who gave it a listen and not trying to deem it a classic, but they still sitting with it. But some people have been just trying to act as if it's a brick or something. I'm like, yo, you ain't even dissect the lyrics. If you notice, the title of this particular video is a reaction. It's not a review because there's so many lyrics. There's no way in hell I caught that in 2 days. What? Office Hours, he was going crazy. Motion, he was going crazy. Slow It Down, going crazy. Like, I'm confused. Hip hop as a whole, man. Dudes be out here bugging. And you allowed to have your own opinions. I'm not trying to convince you to like what I like. Never that. Because I like the banter. I like the debating. That's what we did in high school, right? At the cafeteria. You go to the barbershop. That's what we do. On the ball court, that's what you do. On the block, that's what you do. We debate, discourse in a mature fashion. But to be stuck in your ways, like, you're missing out on so many different things, man. Let's talk about Hitboy's production. because oh my God, man. People, I'm starting to believe that this is personal. No matter what he does, they're not gonna like it, you know. And I kind of feel bad for him because no, I have empathy. I don't feel sorry or feel bad for him because he's successful. He's great at what he does, right? Production, I love his creativity. I love the fact that my favorite artist has found a pocket with him and enjoys working with him. He talks about it glowingly. When has Nas ever talked about another producer in this way? He makes him comfortable in some capacity, right? Because they have 5 projects in 3 years, not to mention the one-offs and stuff like that, right? Hitboy seems to be open-minded, seems to be level-headed, and he seems to be wanting to add to his legacy. Now, is he perfect? Nah. Sonically, sometimes I may not enjoy what he brings to the table. Now, that's sonics. I mean, like the mixing and things of that nature. I don't think that sometimes the talent is there, chopping up samples, melodies, but he's still young. So then as he progresses, he'll take on those Dr. Dre things where he's paying attention to the EQ of a snare or hi-hat or panning something here or there. But those are things that are going to come with time. As far as just producing and putting the product together, him and Nas are 5 for 5. Like, you cannot debate that. You cannot debate it. And the only issue that you have is that you keep comparing. When I say you, I'm speaking generally, could be me as well. Keep comparing each project. None of them sound the same. How are you comparing them? They don't sound the same. How is that possible? You can't compare Magic 1 and 2. In what way are they alike? You can't compare KD1, KD2, or KD3. In which way are they alike? You can give your top 5 in the way that you know, how it touched you or how it moved you as a listener. But you're comparing all of their work and they've given you 5 different projects and none of them sound the same. None of them. So a lot of people, I'm going to go back, are stuck in their ways, right? We always speak about the primo aspect. Yo, you're missing out. And I'll give you an analogy, especially me, from a fan perspective. I'm gonna get to your comments too. We definitely gonna hit on that. I just want to get all this off my chest so you guys can have the floor. But Little Brother was probably one of my favorite groups, right? Hands down. They had the listening, right? With Ninth Wonder producing at the helm. They had the minstrel show. Ninth Wonder was also producing, right? With the exception of Jay Dilla was on one track too. And I think someone else produced one track on the listening, but that's neither here or there, right? When Get Back came out, so many people were up in arms. So Knife only got one track on there, Good Clothes. I'm not listening to it. And it happened to be the worst track on there. That was a joint featuring Lil Wayne. But the moral of the story is you missed out on so much. You missed out on Step My Game Up, produced by High Tech. You missed out on After the Party, produced by Crisis. That Ain't Love, Ill Mind, Two Step Blues, Knots, because you wanted the listening and you wanted minstrel show. When are you going to let it go? You're complaining. You want Nas to work with Primo. That's fine. I'm pretty sure he's heard it too. They've even done a Scratch magazine layout probably back in 2006. I literally have the magazine. He knows what the people want. If it was something he wanted to do, he would have did it already. Let it go. And if it happens, I'm going to support that too. I am. Because that's what my favorite artist elects to do. Now, granted, I don't believe that he's above reproach where you can't say you don't like something because you're a supporter. You can, but some people can be just downright like selfish and not even aware of the things that they're saying. Like, you're complaining about an album that dropped on a Friday and you're telling him that you want an album from Primo on Saturday morning. What? It don't make sense to me. Like, I really don't understand what's happening. Are we that selfish? Are we that? I don't care who it is. Even if it was Anita Baker or Sade or someone, like, as your favorite artist, if they're giving you work that you enjoy, or they attempting to put something out that you enjoy, in less than 48 hours, 24 hours, you're complaining. as that artist, would you even bother trying to check off a uh, or even make that part of your agenda? Because these people are proving to you that they're going to complain no matter what. I don't understand it. Hitboy is not perfect. He's still learning. He is. Like if you A and B Magic 2, the mix with other albums, like I did that too, because that's what I do. I A and B'd it too, because my standard for mixing is Dr. Dre's 2001. If you want a pristine mix, I always play the album I'm listening to, and then I go back to one of those songs and I play it. Is it comparable? Absolutely not. But once he elects to take on that, they'll get to that place. But musically, they gave you joints. There are 11 tracks on here. I don't count the intro because there are no vocals, right? But I happen to like 7. 7 out of 10 is not bad. I love 2 of those 7. They already been added to a playlist. And those happen to be Slow It Down and Motion. By the end of the day, who knows? I've been playing Bokeem Woodbine a lot lately too. This morning I played it maybe 3 or 4 times. But the other records, they don't speak to me. But guess what? Abracadabra, no matter who does that type of flow, that's never been for me. I appreciate that Nas is attacking like his Achilles heel because people said he could never do that back in the day. Like he used to struggle with like the double time flow, and he's doing it effortlessly now. But you got to even commend that. The fact that he's still working on his craft. He can do boom bap in his sleep, ladies and gentlemen. He can do that in his sleep. You know how easy it is for him to just hop on a primo beat and go crazy? But the question is, as an artist, does it push him artistically? And that's the battle he has. And as a supporter, you got to understand that as well. It ain't always about you. Whatever you don't like, don't skip it. Out of the 10 joints, if I don't like 3 of them, I just don't play them. I ain't going to sit on the internet and complain about them because I like 7 joints. What we got here? True Life. Nas and Hit out here doing what they want and having fun with it. Merging the new with the grown, and it worked again. Jesse Owens on tracks. True Life. Listen, I agree with that. I do. I do. Just stop comparing his work, and you will enjoy it that much more. That's it. And I think that's the issue too with artists dropping so soon. We have so much access to these artists now to where we feel like we part of the studio sessions, or we part of the A&R team, or we part of marketing. Like we know what's going on because they share some videos in the studio. You don't know what's going on. So stop pressing play on these albums with these expectations, because you never know. If Nas is proving anything to you never know what he's going to do. Never. Who's going to go from a Stillmatic to a Godson? Very few artists. People lost their mind when he went from Illmatic to It Was Written. 2 different sounds. That's what he does. Recently, we went from KD2 to Magic. You didn't expect that? Now he went from KD3 back to Magic 2. That's what art is all about, man. I don't understand why, when it comes to him, we get to a point where we want him to do old things or keep it stale. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else, it's cool when you switch it up. This is art, man. And that reggae sample that what record was that? Was that Bokeem Woodbine that he threw up in the that reggae sample was dope. The Hitboy got an ear, man. The Sonics is gonna catch up. He'll figure that out. But you can't tell me he can't make beats. I don't believe it. Pistols on your album cover is the best song on the project. Slow It Down, and the second best is then Bokeem Woodbine. A lot of people like that Bokeem Woodbine. Those who enjoy the album, like that seems to be the one that's hopping out. And think about that dude is putting work as an actor. You've seen him in how many places, and people probably don't even know who he is. From movies to the Tupac I Ain't Mad At You video. He's been around. Dead Presidents, Jason's Lyrics, which he mentioned in the song. Come on. The album is a breath of fresh air. It's modern and pushes sounds and styles forward. And I agree. And I agree. And it's nothing, that's what we want, right? Especially hip hop. People say it can get stale, or even some people who doing the old boom bap sound, they haven't added anything to it. They just literally went back to 94 and replicated the sound. I mean, they haven't added any instrumentation on top. It's just regular boom bap. Y'all not bored with that? It's cool. I love beats and rhymes, but I've heard my favorite artist reach the apex on that sound his first time around. Illmatic, he mastered that out the gate. Come on, we got to let it go. Magic 2, is it a classic, instant classic, which I don't believe in? No, but it's fire. It's a dope project. It's solid. Whatever adjective you want to use, I'll be playing it again. All day I'll be playing it because I'm a lyrics guy. And I didn't catch all those lyrics already. And if you're saying that he didn't have a lyrical performance, you're bugging, because there's no way you dissected that. You may not like the sonics, but it takes time to sit with someone who's a prolific writer and catch everything they was talking about. What we got here, Charles Manning. When you put this album on shuffle with the rest of the albums, it flows great. This album will grow on people. It's better this way. It's art. I'm gonna do that too. Put it on shuffle with the other albums. You know what? I'm gonna try. I'll probably make a playlist with Magic 1 and 2 and just shuffle it out. Just to pose it, right? Because until someone sits down with Nas and asks these direct questions about his mindset or the direction he going on with albums, all we can do is speculate. And I'm noticing too, a lot of his latest interviews, nobody really asks those type of questions. It's always about his mindset regarding It Was Written, or, you know, going on tour, things of that nature. But the current work, like what was his mindset behind it? The creation. What led him there? Why does he continue to work with Hitboy? There's something there. It's comfortable. I'm gonna make sure I get to all these super chats. My bad. So we got 88 Spencer. Wow, it's good, fam. I'm just happy to get another dope album from Nas. Yeah. Who else is dropping this frequent? Think about that too. This last album was what, November? We're in July. So we're probably a little over the halfway mark of 2023. And I don't think he's done yet. I don't. Just take the songs that you like and blast those. But the comparison is going to drive us insane. And I'm going to be honest with you too. Judging from what I be seeing, I'm not a psychic or anything. All the the complaining and the constant ungrateful attitudes, I don't think he's bothered by it. These dudes out here living their lives, man. They just creating the music that they want, which one of the comments stated. They just having fun. Now, granted, I'm going to say it again. When I mean ungrateful, I don't mean that a supporter cannot critique or an artist is above reproach. What I mean is that you want what you want when you want it. It don't work like that, man. Because an album would never come out if an artist had to give each fan what they wanted. It'll be all over the place. It'll sound messy. No cohesion. So let the artist do what they do. It's the reason why you're a fan. Are you a fan of the artist, or are you a fan of a particular project? That's the major difference. Are you a fan of Nas, or are you a fan of Illmatic? Or first listen, TJ, what's good, fam? Or first listen, 8 out of 10. I'm at an 8.5 out of 10. That's not bad. Now, is he saying it's a classic? Is he saying it's timeless music? No. But every album cannot reach the top 5 of someone's discography. Something has to move in order for you to put it there. And I think that's what people keep doing as well. You're looking for him to make albums that's always within that realm of It Was Written or Illmatic. To some people, KD3 is in his top 5. But look how great that had to be to get there. Some people feel like Magic is an instant classic as well. But look how great it had to be to get there. And on top of that, You comparing his work to himself, compare it to others. You'll be highly disappointed. Real rap. What we got here? I want to make sure we get some different randomly. Album is good, not great, but the boom bap crowd complaining about Hitboy is wild. Listen, I almost feel like my argument on what I'm stating is becoming redundant. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm playing myself at times. I ain't gonna lie. Cause it's like you out here defending somebody you don't even know, but it's frustrating. Like, yo, let that man eat. No one said he was better than Primo. It's like people are trying to protect their nostalgic ways, you know? Nobody better than nobody from my time. And, yo, fam, the kid, excuse me, that's a grown man. He seems to be a student of the game. He respects his forefathers. He acknowledges them. Primo was on Magic. He did the scratches on Wave Guards. I'm pretty sure Hitboy could have been like, nah, I don't want that. He acknowledges the legends and the greats. He's humble. I don't understand it, man. I don't get it. But here's the thing regarding Nas and Hitboy. If you can ask people exactly what they wanted, even though they had expectations, they couldn't even tell you what it is that they want outside of a Primo and Nas album. If they asked them what type of sound are they seeking and give you very detailed explanation of what they're seeking, and I bet you they can't do it. Can't. It's unfair. What we got? King Marcus. If Nas were to name his next LP Illmatic 2 and it's nowhere near as good as the first, folks should be disappointed. He chose to call it Magic 2. Read that again. So, King Marcus, did you like the project? Did you find it entertaining? Is this something you're going to play again? But as far as that Illmatic 2 joint goes, yeah, he should stay away from that. Sequel albums are hard, man. There's very few people who pulled that off. As of recent, probably AZ, the Do or Die 2. That was pretty solid. But yeah. Who else has really done sequels like that? I can't really think of any of the. I know people try to make it seem like Stillmatic was like a sequel to Illmatic. Nah. That's just a reminder that I'm still nice, but I don't think it was a sequel. But sequel albums are hard, which is why it's rare. Sequel albums are probably harder to do than a double CD. Nas the GOAT. What up, man? Wow. Hope everything is well. I haven't seen you in the comments in a while. To pair an incredible artist with an incredible producer is an amazing combination. They can keep going because every album sounds different, 4 out of 5. And that's the thing people are accustomed to. Think about this. Most tandems, when they do multiple albums together, it's the same formula. Let's even use like Gangstar. I love Primo. Primo is nice. Let me tell you something, man. There are no words to describe what Primo means to me as a producer, right? Creative, the way he chopped, the bounce that he had, his drums in his heyday, the way they were compressed, truncated. It was second to none, and he was versatile. He could touch into many different pockets. Didn't matter what it was. But the Gangstar album, even though he progressed as a producer over time, for the most part, it's like a formula. If you do Gangstar's discography compared to Nas and Hitboy's, with regards to originality and pushing the envelope, you will be astonished to what Hitboy is doing. And I'm not comparing them in any way. What I'm saying is sound. Is it that people want a particular sound and you want him to keep recreating that? Or you just don't like Hitboy's sound, period? I don't know. I've become a Hitboy apologist. This is crazy. And it shouldn't be this way. The kid is, let me stop saying that. The grown man is proving himself. Look at his discography prior to Nas. Like, if you really think about it, the hip hop aspect, he didn't really need it. The dude had hits with Beyonce. We already know the joints with Jay, Drake. Dre and Jay and Kanye, Drake. He had joints. Out of here success. You know what I'm saying? And he's still out here doing albums dedicated to hip hop with legends, up and coming artists. You got to respect that, man. The contributions are endless. TJ, take Nas off the album and put Benny, Conway, or Push. Becomes one of their better projects in their discography. That is a great point. That is an outstanding point. And it goes back to those nostalgic ways. It does. You're right. Because if you take any other artist off that album, someone would say that they're pushing the genre forward. Oh, yo, I ain't know Benny can get in that bag. That's a different type of beat form. So when has Nas ever gave you the inclination that there was one sound that he had? I don't understand it. I'm going to say it again. He's been switching since 94. Since 94. Real rap, man. I done hooked up with a beast, never stingy with the beats, experimental, accidental records, wound up killing the streets. I don't know what song that's off of, but I definitely heard that on Magic too. That's all you need to hear. No Fredos, right? None. It's a loyalty thing. He feels at home as family. And if you a Nas fan at this point, just get used to it, man. Because it seemed like it's going to be a pairing for a while. Now, what I would like for Nas as a wish list, you can do one-offs with people here and there. Like, that's cool. Fuck. You know what? Let me retract that. You can do whatever you want. Be honest with you. Like, but as a fan, I understand people wanting joints with Alchemist. That would be fire, like a little 4 or 5 song EP. Or even the Primo joint would make sense. But you got to think about it from his perspective, right? If he does those albums, many people will probably love him, but you will have the individuals that's going to use that as a reason why he should never work with Hit again. Because a lot of people are already saying it, and those albums don't even exist. Oh, that's why I was saying he shouldn't be working with Hitboy. You hear those snares? Like, that's why I be saying I believe that it's not Hit per se, it's the nostalgic sonics that people are seeking, and they want him rhyming over One Love. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear boom bap. If every album sounds the same, it would not be good. No. That's what makes Nas special. He's constantly growing and changing. Thank you, Nas, for all this music. Yes. And I get it. I feel the same way, man. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Let me hold on. Group Home, classics, at least production is. Listen, Group Home, Primo, that's one of the greatest production performances ever. I forgot which album. I think it's their first album. He carried it. Like the beats he was giving them was crazy. Not to say they slouches, but they're not considered lyricists. But they they're like good rappers. But you could feel what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? It was like infectious. But Primo's performance on that album was great. J. Rule, absolutely. Never taking nothing away from Primo. Never. The joints he has with Nas, incredible. They got one single together. I stated that probably a week ago. Everything else is B-sides. And the way that we all gravitate to them, you would think that they had smash hits. It's just something about the synergy and the chemistry. But my question at this present moment is, what has Primo done in the last 3 years that makes you want to hear Nas over his production? They gave you break beats. I guarantee you 80% of y'all not even playing that record anymore. Not. And I love Primo. Primo is a Mount Rushmore. Whether it's original content, it's remixes, even went to the pop realm. I think he won his first Grammy with Christina Aguilera, right? The ability to make beats right on the spot for the artist, incredible. Great spirit. I love Primo. Don't ever get it twisted. Ever. But today is about magic too. When Nas and Primo happen to drop a project, trust me, I'll do an entire live regarding it. But I don't understand why that tandem always takes away from what these individuals are doing at the moment. This is Stevie Wonder sings In the Key of Life, Hotter Than July, Inner Visions, and Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants sound nothing alike, yet all are great albums. And that's what you want, right? That's what makes the greats the greats. As the decades went on, Marvin Gaye switched the sound how many times? Prince, how many of his albums sound the same? Just doesn't. It doesn't. To me, a lot of those producers from Nas' era don't give him the best tracks. Timbo, Ye, etc. I can, yeah, him and Timbo, I wasn't a big fan of that. Ye kind of killed, destroyed their execution percentage with the Nas Air album, because prior to that, they had some good joints together, like We Major. Well, he featured on that. Pop was a player. D'Angeletti got the credit. Still Dreaming, that was fire. He had a joint on Lost Tapes too. But when the Nas Air album came on, you take what those tracks and then the execution average wasn't great. But yes, we are celebrating Magic too. I see that comment there, but shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. So put in the comments or the chat, what's your favorite track on Magic 2? Matter of fact, let's rate all the songs. Abracadabra. On a scale of 1 through 5, what you giving that? As of right now, tomorrow may be different, but overall, lyrics, beats, and rhymes. If someone said, yo, I want to listen to this song, how'd you rate it? 1 through 5, what do you get? 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 4. Don't worry, office hours is next. 5, 3.5, 4.2, 5. For me, I'm gonna give it a Abracadabra, probably a 3.5, between the 3.5 and 3.8. But it's not for me, and I know that. But he was spitting on it though. I'm just not a fan of that flow, no matter who really does it. 8.5. So we're gonna say that's 3.5. Okay. 3.8. He's definitely he's flowing on it. Like for everybody who said he couldn't flow at 49 years old, it's like water over that. He's definitely flowing. All right, where we at? To the track list. I'm eager to know, man. What y'all think? Office Hours. First of all, how would you rate that song? The number. We'll talk about 50 in a minute. Now we're using the scale of 1 through 5. I think it's easier that way. Some people put an 8.5, but all right, so that's literally a 3.5 then. Office Hours. Joe Nas is going crazy on Office Hours too. He was spitting on that joint. And I ain't gonna even sit here and try to quote no lyrics, but I was catching a lot of joint. But this, I'm definitely gonna sit with it. All right, yo. So all right, rate 50's verse 1 through 5. JB, what up? 50 got a 3. Now, with 50, here's my thing with the 50 joint, man. A lot of people are upset Not even upset. We all expected more. What was that, like 7.5 bars, 8 bars? If I'm being generous, and he talked for probably another 8. It was very underwhelming, at least for me. At least for me, it was underwhelming. But it's not horrific. It's not horrible. I was just expecting a particular. That's the problem. I was expecting something. I thought they was just gonna go off. I stated that live before the album came out that I just wanted them to rhyme. I wasn't looking for an album, a song. Just go off. Whatever's on your chest, get it off. But Nas was going crazy on that joint. 50 didn't really add what I thought he would have added to it, but he didn't necessarily take away from the song either. His performance won't stop me from playing it, which is kind of odd because sometimes a feature like EPMD2, I don't really play that record because of that feature. But Office Hours, I'm still going to play that record. I guess Nas' performance is that great. You know what I'm saying? What we got here? Let's go. At his age, his work ethic is off the charts. Like he said, I must be crazy giving you bars and running companies. 5 amazing albums back to back. And I totally agree. I totally agree. And he stated he had a line in there too that lets you know that his mindset is somewhere else, and this rap joint ain't something that he needs to keep the lights on. When he said corporations are the new custies, he knows what's going on out here. He knows that. And he's figured out the game, but he's still giving us albums, man. So you got to respect that. Nas told us, but people ain't listening. Shout out to Adriel Green. People wanted Magic 1 again. But Nas said on Abracadabra, I'm a magician. You should listen. It's never the same tricks. Can't knock it. He been saying a lot of that, right? Go back to clue tapes from my old verses. Here and there, give you a line. But as fans, we could be very selfish and want what we want. I'm going to say it again. No artist is above reproach. As a supporter, you can speak out, but there's no way in hell you could get an album on a Friday and on a Saturday morning be upset or talking about what you want next. Nah. Especially when it's quality work. How many other artists, at least for me, I like 7 out of 10, right? How many other artists are putting out work like that? Consistently, though. Because KD3 was no features and all heat. That's a good analysis for it. Yeah, for real. All right, here we go. Black Magic. That happens to be a song I don't think is for me. I'm going to listen to it a couple of more times. It's not really something that I'm not connecting with it. Maybe it's not for me. 2.5. Yeah, my least. Okay, I got you. Oh, where they got the vinyl on sale, Boulder? I'm gonna have to look into that. Boring. Yeah, I'm not. I don't like Black Magic too much. 4, but it's growing on me. But I'll definitely be listening again because, like I said, this is a reaction. You know what I'm saying? For all of us, this is not a review. A review is when you can quote lyrics here and there. You catching snares coming in, drops, the way they're panning things. Like I can't tell you certain things as of right now, but I listened maybe 4 or 5 times. And here's the thing too. The first 2 times I listened through the headphones, I wasn't really digging it. Got in the whip, it sounds better in the whip for whatever reason. I guess most albums do, right? You're moving around, you just fixated or focus on that one thing, but it sounds better in the V. But Black Magic, even that's not for me. Motion, how we rating that? Master Pill vinyl on the way. One through 5. Motion, what we got? I'm a Nas super fan, but this album didn't hit immediately for me. I wrote my instant thoughts, and I also said it has to grow on me like KD2. You know, that's a great point because I remember when KD2 came out, a lot of people were okay like with the progression, from KD1, you heard it. But now ask certain people about KD2. They play it a lot. If you ask most people, well, a lot of people, if you did a poll of their favorite song between the last 5 albums, Store Run seems to be in everyone's top 5. And I had the same issue with on KD2, not an issue, but as far as listening, I didn't like, and I'll be honest with you. First listen, I didn't like Death Row East. Now I play it all the time. It just happens that way. Sometimes a record will connect with you at a later date if you give it an opportunity. If you call something trash less than 24 hours, you're doing yourself a disservice. It may be a lyric in there that can change your whole mentality that you didn't even hear because you ain't given it a chance. You just come to a conclusion because it's not what you were seeking sonically at the moment. I think it's full. Okay. I still don't care for Death Row East. What we got? We did Black Magic, right? All right. Motion 1 through 5. I'm just trying to get an idea what we all feel. Motion, I'm giving that Motion. I like Motion a lot, man. That snare hitting hard too. But it's not blaring, like it's some musicality to it, man. I'm gonna give Motion Motion is a 5, man. I don't care, man. That's the record. The first time I heard it, it just jumped out at me like, yo, what's this? I like Motion a lot. What we got here? I'm gonna make sure I catch all these comments. Y'all spitting in the comment section too. Y'all getting busy. All right, here we go. People wanted this to sound like Magic 2. Did I read this one yet? People wanted it to sound like Magic 1, but now I said on Abracadabra, I'm a magician. You should listen. It's never the same tricks. People don't listen. He told us he don't do the same thing twice. Also, none of the 3 KDs sound alike. So Magic series doesn't have 2 either. First Magic is a summer album. Second is Summer Vibes. And the album cover represents the bridge in the sound of the old and new. That's fire. I didn't even peep that. Hold up. Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. I'm rolling with that. Because whether you like Magic 2 or not, you have to agree that there's something on here for everybody. Even if it's just 2 tracks you can go back to. I happen to like 7, but they touched on many different things, man. I like that. Adriel, you spitting, man. That was fire. Motion seems to be a 5 or a 4.5, between 4.5 and 5 for everyone. This is the $1 million question. I don't know. And that alone should ask you. Think about this. Growing up in hip hop, right? How does a 50-year-old sound this fresh? Growing up in hip hop, no matter which, first of all, I can't even say that we're not accustomed to this because in our genre, we don't even allow people to get to this point. You deemed to be old by 35 in hip hop. Now 49, and you still coming out. You're 49 and you haven't reached your apex. Like you're still checking off things like doing the garden, selling it out for the first time as a 49-year-old. Yet you've been in the game for quite some time. It's a marathon, ladies and gentlemen. How many people are doing this? This is different. You got to appreciate it. And that's why I said it in a previous video that even if you don't like certain projects, there's different ways to support. For them, Nas and Wu to still be having successful tours at their age, considering how much time they're not doing high school gyms. Like they up in the Garden, Barclays, like doing big arenas. Support that. Oh, you don't like Magic 2? All right, you can support another way. Go buy the vinyl of Magic 1. There's many different ways to support, but don't just sit on the sideline and be part of the sideline committee and complain about everything. If you a fan, it got to be something that you like. Support that. Here we go. Oh, the first app, yeah, it's a little darker, right? My bad. I meant the first Magic is a winter album. and it sounds like gritty winter vibes. And the second album, we'll go back to the other comment. And the second is summer vibes, and the album cover represents the bridging the sound of the old and new. I'm gonna put them off. I think someone said that earlier. I'm gonna put them on shuffle mode, Magic 1 and 2, and see what it sounds like. Go down this comment. Y'all killing the comments too. Magic 2 is cinematic vibes. Movie score will have a field day with this album. And that's another play too, right? I'm noticing, I'm seeing a lot of people post about I think he's number 1 on iTunes or something like that, which is good. Like, if even with record sales, I don't understand that anymore, right? Like, remember, it used to be like, yo, he's number 1 or SoundScan or Billboard 100. So does Billboard 100 still exist? Or do they count the iTunes store as the physical copy? Because that's weird to me too, because if you buying vinyl through Mass Appeal's direct website, how do they factor those sales in? Like, it's so many different things going on. That's why this whole album sale joint, I stay away from that because it don't make sense to me. You got streaming farms. You can sell directly from your website. You can go to mom and pop store and get it, or you can go to Walmart or Amazon and get it. With all of those different hands in the pot, how could we not have numbers that are fudged? That's why I say support how you support. So everyone buys on iTunes? I see some people say they buy on iTunes. Nah, we're not doing this, man. Nah. Word. I've been seeing this a lot on Twitter. I didn't know a lot of people didn't like 50 in that way. This 50 feature gave a lot of y'all a reality check on how whack he really is. I just think he's removed from music. But it was great, though, to see these two on the same page. Jermaine L. Johnson, what up, man? I can't wait for the Wu and Nas Barclay show. Who's going? Is that September? Let me put yes in chat if you going to that show. Nas and Wu at the Barclays. Think about going to the joint, man. Let's get back to that 50 point. 50. This is a great point too. I was just about to say this. I was literally just about to say this. It doesn't sound like that verse was emailed in. That's the problem too. Sonics, man. Sonics, even with great lyrics, if it isn't mixed right sometimes, even go back to the inbox era. Remember in DigiDesign, everybody had the Pro Tools inbox. So no longer going to the studios. And now just the average consumer was able to record in their bathroom or their bedroom, right? Even artists were doing that. So if you go back to a lot of records between like 2002, 2004, they were mixed horrible. A lot of Dipset joints that could have been quality songs, but the audio was horrible. So the intent was there, but the finished product wasn't great. And I totally agree with that point. 50's audio, I don't think they were in the same spot when they recorded that. And a lot of people aren't, but nah, he was rusty as well. But I guess he served his purpose. We talking about it. And with his avenues in television, that opens up what? We spoke about this maybe 2 weeks ago. I did a video on other ways to support an artist. Licensing, right? That same verse or same song could be featured in Power or something like that. Like, they playing a different type of game. Real rap. Your dad, I appreciate you for the super chat. What we got here? Nas the GOAT. Dad, I'm not sure if you had a message, but you can put it in the regular chat and I try to catch it. With this run he's on, has he solidified that he is the best discography in hip hop history? I've heard people say no, but what is your opinion, fam? Which run? Are you talking about After Magic 2 or prior to those five projects they've done? Because if we including all his work with Hitboy, at this point he about to lap cats. And we're not even including the unreleased discography, which is hands down the greatest in rap history. Who has that? They used to always talk about Nas and his cold streaks, right? Nah, this is different, man. Which I didn't agree with, because at that time it was normal to do an album every 2 years, right? Someone doing an album every year was a great feat, because that's not what we were accustomed to. But 5 albums in 3 years, not to mention all the other classics he has, not to mention the unreleased material, hands down the best discography in hip hop history. And how many artists has taken this many chances artistically and succeeded? There's no question. And I think he understands that too. That's why you can have fun. Like, the pressure's off. I done did everything. Now I can just do what I want to do, because those who hate to admit it or act like it's not even possible, they have no intention of coming to the conclusion. They're always going to say no. Him and Hit can go 12 for 12. In their mind, whatever said artist that they think should be there is going to be there. But if you really into music and you paying attention to what's going on, nah. Nas is the best ever. He's the GOAT. He, whatever term you want to use, greatest of this era, greatest of the other eras, whatever, he got it. Mike Knight, Ease, what do you think about the album? Yeah, I probably got here a little late, but I like it. I'm not going to say it's a classic. I'm not going to say I love it. But out of 10 tracks, I stated that I like 7. And out of those 7 tracks, I love 2 of them. But it dropped less than 48 hours ago. I don't know how I'm going to feel a week from now. You know what I'm saying? But I like it, though. I do. He's growing, trying different things. Nas has left some of the coldest joints off his projects. Yeah, man. And I know as a fan too, everybody in here, when he spoke about that whole I Am getting leaked, I know that kind of touched you. It broke your heart a little bit, right? As soon as I heard that lyric, I was like, yeah. But it's a give and take with everything too, right? Because if he comes out the gate 3 for 3 in that fashion, we would probably never get a Stillmatic. Like, it's always a cause and effect. Something has to happen for the next thing to happen. You know what I'm saying? Probably would have got complacent. And we ended up here today, man. So he definitely left some cold joints off. He was definitely a victim of that nasty leak culture, you know, back in, I don't know why Cats is doing that. A lot of malicious behavior happening, but he still persevered through it all and gave us some dope projects, man. The only thing with re-releasing it, I don't know if he has the rights to it, but knowing him, isn't it after 30 years you own your masters, right? So that's coming up soon, probably, and that's probably something he has in the works. Like, these cats are not just rappers anymore; they know how the game goes, and it's nowadays, and it's been like this for quite some time. It's cool to know your business. Before, it was just cool to look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing, having ownership and having stake or equity. They playing the long game, man. And I'm pretty sure once he gets his masters, he'll probably re-release that I Am album in some capacity. It only makes sense. And they're making films, a whole Mass Appeal joint. So who are we to say that he won't bring Nipsey's idea to light and do the documentary on his own? So these are all options. It's a beautiful thing to have options. Slow It Down is my favorite. He is given West Coast love as well, but he wrote for Will Smith, so he could do commercial records, but he doesn't chase pop. He can get into so many different bags, man. That's another thing too. So many different bags. So many different bags. Think of all the producers that he's worked with. Like it's so diverse. Obviously, you got the Illmatic, right? Then you get with the track masters, the Illmatic crew, usual suspects. Then you get track masters. Then you can get in there with Stretch. You can we go to I Am, get some joints with Dame Grease, Timbo. It's a very diverse discography. Now, does he have great chemistry with all of these people? If we're talking chemistry, obviously Primo got a great chemistry with Hitboy. I think him and Salaam Remy have a fantastic chemistry. And he's given us multiple great records. Him and Chucky Thompson had a good chemistry too. Great records, man. LES, great chemistry. And this is why a lot of people harken back to him working with particular artists, because the records that he put out with those artists, you know, the chemistry is there. But he has to get some credit for that as well. All right, so what we got now? We just track masters. Yeah, they produce the best song that Nas has ever written, in my estimation. Just my estimation. Street Dreams remix. And once again, I'm gonna say it's not the greatest verses, but top to bottom, from the hook to the vibe to the writing, and that last verse, my God, easy. Listen, let them know J Love, man. What's up with J Love? J Love used to have some classics, Nas classics, Ghostface classics. J Love mixtapes got so many unreleased Nas songs. They definitely do. If you're unfamiliar with J Love, I'm assuming some of the stuff is probably on YouTube. But J Love definitely used to have some fire mixtapes, man. For real. J Mar, what up, dog? The way he played off the Magic narrative on Slow It Down, Sleight of Hand, and how to keep up with the movement was incredible. J Mar, what you think about the album? I know you probably stated in the comments, they're moving so fast, man. Trying to show everybody some love. I appreciate all y'all up in here, man. JB album is 4 out of 5, all dope in varying degrees. Fave songs: Volcane, Abracadabra, Motion, All Makes Sense, Slow Down, Black Magic, EMJ, etc. It's for casuals. What y'all think about? Nah, I'm not even gonna ask that question because I think it flowed well. Nas Ball work on Magic 2 puts this in the album of the year top spot for me. I love the production too, but it's what Nas is saying that always separates him from the rest. Yep. And when we come back probably a week later and really dissect the lyrics, it's on, man. It's on. I'm just astounded by how he could just find so many different things to talk about at this. Well, that's experience, right? So that just goes to show you that he works on this craft. I'm not sure if he's actually writing now or he's doing line for line, but it's definitely well thought out. What it really means is definitely fire. What we got here. He has a really good relationship with Columbia and Sony, so he know the business. Anthony helped him stop being shy and get into the business. Corporations, custodies. Yep, they are. What song he said that on? See, I know the lyrics, some lines, but I don't know the songs per se, but I'm gonna keep playing it back. He mentioned his manager Anthony as well, so they definitely got a play at hand. Definitely. So what we got now? Did we go over Bokeem Woodbine? What y'all giving that? Oh, somebody said there's a 5 for them. I guess I already stated that one, right? Everyone seems to like that album. Excuse me, that song. He's been had his masters. What, he owns his masters outright already? If so, maybe people's wish they're gonna. Well, I'm part of that list as well. The I Am re-release. Maybe it'll come down the pipeline someday. Urban Magic Johnson. What we giving that out of a 5? I know he owns the masters from his Master Pill recordings, but if he owns the others, it's on. Bokeem is a 5. That's fire, man. That's back-to-back 5s. That emotion. Bokeem is fire. This is where I'm at. 7 out of 5, 7 out of 10, 7.5. First listen, so many songs didn't catch me, especially his flow. Now it's a 7.5 out of 10 to me at this point. It's icing on the goat cake. You're right. And I like about 7 tracks as well. So I'm rolling with that. And here's the thing, right? Even if someone rates it high, right? Even if you feel like someone is rating it high, think about all the other albums that people intentionally tried to ish on that didn't get the notoriety it deserved. So I'm cool with that. It all got to balance itself out because I don't feel like Life is Good at the time got the love it deserved. Many different projects he was doing, so it's gonna balance itself out. But for me, yeah, I give that a 7.5. That's fine. That's good, yo. When you compare that to most people and stop comparing him to himself, what is the landscape doing? Urban Magic John, your humble bragger. You not digging that? You know what? How y'all rating that? Urban Magic Johnson. It was. I knew I wasn't gonna like it from when it first came on. From the very beginning, I knew I wasn't gonna like that record. The flow, it just sounded like very generic. I got to go back and listen to the lyrics. Maybe there's something in there, but nah. But that's the beauty of Nas's work, right? It's not cookie cutter, right? When we talk about you have to actually, and that's what replay value comes into, right? Because most people feel like if it doesn't, our attention spans are so short. If it don't jump out at you right away, it's trash. No, sometimes you gotta sit with an album. You have to. You have to. Yeah, but that listen, man, I'm one of the biggest Nas fans on the planet. That Urban Magic Johnson. I'm gonna try to listen to it and catch a line, but that's not for me, man. That's not for me. But that motion and Bokeem back to back. Worst song on the album. All right, so we can move on from that. Some people like it though. 3.5 Boulder, that's fair. Yo, I'm running with this. And a lot of people, from what I'm hearing, he's rapping better on this than KD3. Do you agree with that? Now, obviously, it's only been 24 hours, but it seems, but that's the thing too, because we don't even know when these records were recorded. Like, because if you comparing it or even saying that he's rapping better on here than KD3, how do we know that some of these songs aren't from the KD3 session? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing we don't know. But from when I'm here office hours, he was losing his mind. Motion, slow it down. He was spitting, man. That's the thing, though. KD3 is different, though, man. It, nah, you Black Magic is your favorite. All right, what this all really means? We'll be giving that 1 through 5. KD3 is definitely a masterpiece, but KD3 is a masterpiece because of, I guess, all the things that we mentioned, right? Production, lyrics, sonics, something for everybody, no features. It checked all boxes. Like every box that you everything that someone could possibly say about him, KD3 is like, all right, here you go. Yo, too many features. Here you go. Production, I don't like it. Here you go. That's KD3 is I don't know, man. KD3 is different. Go back and listen to that today as well. What that really means, 4 out of 5. We got some people 4.5, a 5. Yeah. KD3 is better, but it don't have as much bangers as Magic. Nah, Mike. KD3 is better, but it doesn't have as much bangers as Magic too. Ooh. What we got here? 4.5. Somebody said, I'm bugging. King Kel, I see you. Urban Magic Johnson bangs. It's not for me. Like, if you like that joint, that's what up, man. I'm gonna try to listen to it again today. I just think that you know what it is too. Sequencing matters and everything, right? Because you got Motion, Bokeem Woodbine, and then Urban Magic Johnson comes on. You coming on behind or after two pretty much perfect records or the two best on the album. Wow. Be wrong. No, what we got here? What it really means, one of the best tracks lyrically and sonically is giving that's a great analysis. Giving moments from KD2 vibes is a 5 for me. That's a great comment right there. It's an outstanding comment. Yeah, because moments may be my favorite track on. No, it's not. It's top 3 because Composure is my favorite track on KD2 by a landslide. What it really means. All right. Let's move on to Slow It Down. Slow It Down. What we doing that? 1 out of 5. Billy Bars, I agree. I ran through the album 3 times already. It gets better every listen. It does. Once I got out of my own way, Slow It Down has to. Is Slow It Down the best record on here? Cause slow it, yo, something about Slow It Down. Yo, that hook is fire too. That hook is fire. It's very simplistic, but he's really like he's talking to me, man. Shyster, I got where's that comment? It's moving so fast, but whatever you just said, hold on. I gotta find the comment, beloved. Hold on. I, I listened to the album in the live stream and I was saying this is mid, but after the second and third listen by myself, it supersede Magic. I've never done like a streaming party or a live stream. I don't know if like people were talking throughout the entire experience, but at least for me, that's why I did a poll prior to the album coming out because I know people listen to albums in many different ways now. But solo has always been for me. You know what I'm saying? And even listening to this album solo early on, the first 2 listens, I was like, all right, let me get back into it. I knew what I liked early on, but when I got into the V, I was like, oh, I'm starting to hear different things. You know what I'm saying? Because Motion right out the gate, Slow It Down right out the gate, Office Hours right out the gate, Nas lyrically, and the beat is pretty solid. But that Bokeem Woodbine, I think that's gonna creep into my top 3 for sure. Hit production on that is very underrated. His sampling, he got busy on that. Slowing down, I think Slow It Down is the best record on here. And Nas and Hitboy, if y'all listening, man, can we get some videos? Like, I mean, KD3 had what almost 16, 17 tracks. I could be off a bit. No features. We got 2 videos. 2 videos. I don't know if they have a play down the line. They're gonna do something with. I don't even know what they can possibly do with that as of now, being that you got another project out. But we need some videos, man. J Mar, I agree. Slow It Down is flawless. That joint is fire. Comments. I'm trying to catch everyone. Hold on. What we got here? His deal is with Sony, so he went full circle. He got a distribution deal with Sony, right? You know what? You may be right. Yeah, you are right. I think I read that somewhere. So he went full circle. He always spoke about growing up how he always wanted to sign with Columbia, right? Because I think the Jackson 5 and all of them were on there. You're right. So went through all of that. He came back home. It seems like he tried to get married, try to be a family man, but I think hip hop is real marriage. So he said he pumped his rhyming since the 90s. Say he pumped his rhyming since the 90s. I don't know how we relate in that, but I know that he loves hip hop because if he didn't, he wouldn't be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think this is monetarily. I don't think I'm gonna say it again. I can't count nobody pockets, but you see what they doing out here. I don't think this is what keeps the lights on. This is all sport, and he's playing around and having fun. Like hip hop is his playground now. But I say that respectfully in the sense that he respects the culture. Look how he's putting on. It's Hip Hop 50. He's shedding light on many different things. Got the museum going on. I know Master Pill has something to do with the BET or the Grammy situation, but he's not making it about himself. You know what I'm saying? Like he could be out here fronting. He's just making this contribution. All right, Hip Hop 50, Magic 2, here y'all go. That's just my contribution to the culture. Even though his company has their name in many different things regarding Hip Hop 50, he's still not making it about himself. So I think that his actions alone prove how much he loves the culture, man. And I think we should all approach it that way. Yo, this is hold on. Yo, this is a great analogy, man. I'm sorry, I gotta go solo for an album. Listening parties is like watching the game in the bar. Too many distractions. I could roll with that. That's just not for me. I don't know how it works, but I'm pretty sure that it can't. It must be silent. Like how does it? Tell me in the comment section. How does a listening party work? Like whoever's hosting it, are they speaking as the music play? Or are they saying like, "Oh, that's a fire bar," or you just listening to it, kind of like what we're doing now? And then in the comment section, you're just commenting on certain bars on what you heard, and even that's a distraction, right? Because you're reading. I don't know, but let me know how it goes because a lot of people like them, man. Magic 2 is already number one in the country and getting great reviews from media publications, though. Yeah, because you gotta. Why they getting great reviews now? Is it sincere? Because the other projects were solid too, and they were acting as if it wasn't. But I guess the fanfare and the outrage has gotten so it's insurmountable to where they got to come on board now. After they got all the clicks that they can possibly get related to, because negative Nas news gets a lot of clicks, man. You go on YouTube or anywhere else, man. Nas is like when we talking about engagement, people who've never even spoken about him before. If you just mention him in your subject line, he seems to garner a lot of traction on many different platforms, man. So this whole relevant things of that nature, when it comes to content, no other artist is doing what he does. And media art, they are biased. And we're all biased in our own ways, but with them, it's disingenuous. Honesty is what we after. Ooh. Man, Guardian TV. What up, fam? Magic 2 is the best album in this latest run. I think you about to be met with some resistance, but I can't knock that. If that's what you like, that's what you like. Like KD1, the more I listen to it, the more I enjoy it. And I think Magic 2 is probably going to be the same way. That's the thing with artists who feed you. You know what I'm saying? Like that knowledge, wisdom, those jewels. Whenever you go back and listen, you catch something different. It's kind of like watching Martin, right? No matter how many times you've seen all those episodes, you always find something new to laugh at. Like, I didn't even catch that. That's the type of material Esco gives us, man. All right, so we did Slow It Down. What about Pistols on your album cover? How we rating that? Well, there goes that. Like my first fans at a listening party, too many distractions. 5. You know what? That's a nice little run. So the sequencing, now that I'm looking at it, because I'm physically looking at it now, to go from Motion, Bokeem, Irvin, what this all really means, Slow It Down, Pistols on the Gun album cover. Out of all the 7 that I like, If we would have removed, not removed, but resequenced, like if you put Irvin after Black Magic, right? Probably take away from the flow of the album. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would end up liking the last 6 songs. Yeah. Sequencing. Yeah. Pistols on your album cover. So what we giving that? See, a lot of people like the Urban Magic is cold. Black Magic is flawless. Yeah, I'm a chill. I ain't giving no more ratings, man. I'm gonna go back and listen to the project. This is just a reaction at the moment, but I think I'm gonna have to do song by song and break down what I like and what I don't like. Because a lot of Urban Magic is hard. I don't know. That's not for me though. At the moment, it's not jumping out to me. And I'm not even comparing it to the other albums or the records. I love Office Hours, Motion, Bokeem, what this all really means, Slow It Down, Pistols on the album cover, One Mic, One Gun. That record, because I put a tweet up. I know a lot of people ain't about to make no think pieces about an album track list because we were going in that direction because people seen that record up there. It clearly said bonus track. And nowadays, when you see a bonus track up there, there's a reason why they're doing it. I don't know how streaming works, but probably they can pull those numbers and whatever. I guess that's the formula, whatever. But I didn't realize that I actually like that record. I can listen to it. It's not a bad record, and it flows perfectly throughout the album. Like at the end of the album, it doesn't sound like, doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. So that's kudos to them for good sequencing. It's not bad. Yeah, he went crazy on Office Hours. He was bugging on that. Yeah, man. So last song would be, I did that. So One Mic, One Gun. We've already heard that before. So I'm gonna go through these comments. Make sure everybody's heard and seen. Find these great comments. Start some. Here we go. Black Magic and Urban Magic Johnson are two of the worst Nas songs ever. Is up there with Making Up a Perfect. Humble bragger. You gonna make that claim this early? You so Black Magic and Urban Magic Johnson never gonna grow on you? Urban Magic is not it for me though. I don't know. That just I don't know. I guess it's the way it comes on. I just don't like it's not working for me. But give me a week. I'll tell you how I feel, but I don't see me turning the corner. But 7 out of 10 is not bad, man. It's not. Not. And off a 5 album run, we're gonna keep stating it. I don't care how many times we hear it. 5 albums in 3 years. That's not normal. That's not even human. Like when we talking about creating, it's not. It's not. I think with Hitboy, he untapped something that most producers that Nas has worked with haven't. The ability just to go in there and have fun. And one thing with Nas, though, you can actually state his overthinking didn't lead to like career paralysis. You know how some people overthink everything, but with him, you knew when he was taking his time crafting the album, you was getting some heat. So both approaches work, but it's good to see him in the studio. Like if you ever seen Nas just free, like on the video, just laughing, having a good time in the studio, showing his personality, they're happy, man. We just gotta accept the music and enjoy it, man. They don't like the pocket on Urban Magic Johnson. Understandable. I shout out to Idle Gray, man. Shout out to you, man. Very knowledgeable brother right here. I'm I don't know. It's not working for me. But I'm gonna listen to it again. Give me about a week, and I'll give like a in-depth review about how I feel about each song and what stands out. But 7 out of 10 is not bad, man. He always evolves. And when it's all said and done and he retires for good, people will appreciate the wordplay and versatility in his craft. Oh, they better. They better. But on the low, they do. That's why they still want him to go back to the old days. You know what I'm saying? They heard it all. They heard it all. It's just the nostalgic ways. They can't get out the nostalgic ways, but It's enough of us here that appreciate the entire discography. And we're gonna keep pushing this hip hop thing forward. I guarantee you in a week you will love Urban Magic. We'll see. Many albums I wasn't too fond of early on. Not think about it. One of my favorite albums ever, Philadelphia Freeway. The first time I heard it, I liked it. I liked it. I found the songs I like. I played it through. And now we're talking, that's 03. That's 20 years ago. Now I just press play and let the whole thing go. It's just like that, man. And you don't realize that you know 90% of the lyrics. Some things connect with you right away. Some things take some time. It's like that. 7 out of 10 for the album does. That's not bad. Maybe like 7 out of 10 tracks. We're in the same place. Yo, y'all spitting up in here. I'm trying to make sure everybody get heard, man. Y'all making some great points today, man. All right, he went 8 out of 9 for me. I don't count the intro. Oh, so you don't count One Mic, One Gun either, right? Because I think it's 11 tracks on here if we count the intro. Yeah, so we'll take away the intro and the bonus track. He went 8 out of 9 for me. I don't count the intro. That's amazing for a time when no one makes good albums anymore. So what's the one track that you don't like if you don't count the intro? Now, we got some people out here making good albums, though. I'm a huge Nas fan, but Sky Zoo had an amazing project this year. Just year alone. I think Larry June had a good project. I think Ransom had a dope project. Killer Mike had a great project. But I'm pretty much agreeing with you because we're only talking about 4 or 5 albums in 7 months, unless I missed a bunch of them. Yeah, the rate is very low. That's it. Make sure everybody. Jay Skis. I heard that a lot too. I got to go. Shout out to you, Russ. A lot of people told me that I keep forgetting to go. And someone told me Belly had a good project too. Was it Belly? I think it was Belly. I should go listen to him. I'm going to go check it out though, man. Larry June, Killer Mike, and Nas, my top 3 albums right now. Hitboy went bananas on Magic 2. I didn't like Black Magic. Now I love it. Yeah, I stated I didn't like that record either as of right now. But I'm going to go sit with it some more today. Larry June, Killer Mike, and Nas, my top 3 albums right now. I got Larry June in there. I got Sky Zoo, and I have Director's Cut 4 by Ransom. Nas, give me some time before I add it to my top 3. Well, I need some time. But it may make it there. Jay Ski's album was a surprise. I'm going to go check that out, man. A lot of people have been saying that. I don't know how I missed out on that one. Yo, this is y'all bugging on that Black Magic. And then we get Black Magic set the tone for the entire album. Listen, I don't know. I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. I can't trust you built for Cuban links unless we tied in. That's Urban Magic Johnson. Nah, that goes without saying, Boulder. Larry June can't go into the lyrical chambers of Nas. Nah, that's a vibe album. I'm hearing that term a lot too. Like people, like Alchemist blessed him. His production alongside, well, Alchemist's production with Larry June's tone, it just worked. It's a feel good music. Random and Killer Mike, but the Dave East is growing on me. Nas is the best so far. I listened to the Dave East maybe one time. That came out, was that last Friday? So that came out on the 13th, right? No, that was the 14th. I like that joint he did with Jada and A-Rap music on the beat. Oh, it sounds so soulful. Good looking now. I'm about to go play that again. Dave East. I'm gonna look at a Dave and Nas feature. And Out killed the beats. Everybody some love. Nas was spazzing on Black Magic. One of my favorite songs on Magic too. However, Slow It Down is the one. Yes, it is. Black Magic getting a lot of love, man. I guess we started to be in a minority. Humble bragger. Explain this to me. I have my theories. Now, are you talking about the album or are you talking about the career? We got to talk about that someday. Let me write that down. That needs to be a topic. I can't get past Dave East's voice. It's hard to listen. His career. Dave East too generic. Whoa. Word? Y'all not feeling. I like when Dave East link up with Vado. I think they. Yeah, when Vado brings out the best in Dave East at this juncture point in his career. Yeah, but we definitely gonna talk about that someday. Yeah, because I have my theories regarding Dave East. I think that he melded in, and I mean that in a respectful way. I think he's figured out that what I'm doing now is working. I'm keeping the lights on. I'm getting notoriety. I'm taking care of me and my family, and he kind of just elected to go this lane. But he puts out some good music too, because I think him and Mike and Keys from the West Coast producer, they have great chemistry as well. But we need to have that discussion concerning Dave East. Hot 97 and Power 105 better play Motion to Abracadabra. New York radio needs to support the GOAT. Shout out to Far Rock, by the way. Six Borough, what up? I would love for them to do that. I wonder why. How does marketing work? I'm going to sit down with someone concerning that. Because how could you be someone like Nas? You got all the connections. Everyone reveres you in the sense that they can't deny who you are, right? And yet you don't get any radio play. I'm pretty sure there are some independent, quote unquote, independent artists getting some radio play. How could a Nas not get spins like that? That's weird to me. And it should happen organically, right? I don't think you should have to. No one should have to call up the radio and request or DM a DJ play this run. That's Nas in his own city. That's weird. That's a different type of game. Oh, Beloved with Styles is the last project I felt that was fire. That was my joint. I'm not a big fan of East when he links up with Harry Fraud. I don't like that connection. Okay. Dedicated to skip. Mm-hmm. Dedicated from what? Oh, Magic? Is a skip? Nah, that's what he was bugging on that. Before I make a move, I think about it karmically. I'm black as Paul Mooney slang. Yo, he was bugging on that, man. That what? Dedicated. I was so pissed that they never did a video to that because the entire album is a bit dark, but to have that as like one of the last, that is the last track, right? Like it just felt like summertime. The way Dedicated is fire. That got to be like, at least for me, a top 10 song that they've done throughout their 5 projects. Dedicated. I love that song. It's Dedicated. Who started that? I got to find that original comment. Dedicated? Yo. Matter of fact, I just did a video to that with the quoting the lyrics yesterday. Beloved was fire. For those who don't know, we're referring to Styles P and Dave East, Beloved. Was that 2019? 20 something like that. I think that was before the pandemic. That album was fire. They got good chemistry, man. They should that sequel should have came out by now. He said when he started doing records with Moneybag, yo, I knew it was over. Yo. Man. I'm telling you, Dave figured something out, man. Dave said, yo, forget all of this lyricist and purist stuff, man. I'm about to keep the lights on. I can get into that bag when I link up with Lloyd Banks and them. Shout out to Banks too. This album was fire. Magic it is, Magic too. But I have a theory that this album wasn't planned. And just like the first Magic, they had a bunch of songs that didn't really fit the theme of what they were doing for KD. It's a possibility. That's a possibility. But what makes you believe that? What songs stick out? Because I think for the most part, a lot of these songs do sound like they were definitely recorded within the same session. I'm not saying it's within a KD session, but the synergy is there. You know how sometimes somebody's album can sound like a mixtape and they pull 12 songs from 6 different hard drives and they just was trying to go for the money play. This sounds good. I may not like all the songs, but they all sound like they belong, you know? Shout out to the chat and ease, blessings, health, and happiness. Shout out to you too, to us all. I want Nas to do the incredible, a rewind with his albums back to Illmatic. Explain that some more in the chat because I have an idea of what you're saying. I want to know exactly what you mean by that because that sounds like something interesting. I want Nas to do the incredible, a rewind with his albums back to Illmatic. And Nas, I seen some video too. He seemed to be getting more comfy with his new catalog, right? Like I think he was it Spicy he was performing? That's a beautiful thing when you like your new music, you can actually get on stage at an event and perform it. Even though he's a legacy artist, people seem to know or be familiar with the current stuff as well. Because when I went to the Joint in the Garden concert, people knew the records off KD1. When Blue Benz came on, people knew the lyrics. That was fire to me. And as a fan in hip hop, I can honestly state that moment, man. I know we ain't talking about Illmatic or nothing like that, but I will always state this. When he performed that Memory Lane last verse a cappella, man, I've been to many different shows. I've never felt like that in the arena. Like, that was flawless. That was like dropping 50 in the Garden, man. KD4 probably by the end of the year. I have a question in the chat. Let me know. Magic 2 just dropped 2 days ago. Well, yesterday. Do you think Hitboy and Nas should just relax for the rest of the year, or are you looking for another album? So, yes or no? Do you want another album before the year's out? Or no would be that you want them to wait it out? Telling you, man. Yo, I was at the apex of fandom up in it. Like, you don't realize how many lyrics you've known and what they mean to you until you start reciting it with 20,000 other people in the building. You like, oh, this is crazy. That was an incredible moment, man. That was an incredible moment. Next year, another one. Crazy how MC Shan was talking crazy about Nas. Listen, I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but those are internal issues, man. One thing in life, no matter which walk of life, right? I'm not about to give no advice, anything like that, but people fail to realize that no matter what it is, even outside of music, the pioneers always seem to get the short end of the stick when it comes to monetary gains. It's always been that way. It's not hip hop. If someone invents a car, right? Those who invented the cars there, even with inflation, or even if we were to somehow compare dollars from that time when a car was created to now, you never really make the amount of money of those who are making the money now. So MC Shan, although he's a forefather, even though he said he wasn't hurting for money in that video, it literally came back to money because don't call me with a bag, pretty much. Like, so if he stopped focusing on the negativity and got with the promoter, he could get money overseas, I'm sure. He's a legend. The same thing with the Keith Murray situation. Lashing out online is not the remedy. You have discography. You could get paper, but when you behave like this, it sticks out like a sore thumb, man. And it's horrific. When I seen that, it kind of broke my heart because didn't I shout him out on well Pistol on the album cover? He was just shouting him out on Magic too. I don't know why MC Shan is so upset. I don't know their personal situation, but MC Shan is in a better place than he knows. You know what I'm saying? Or he could even acknowledge. You have hit records. You could definitely get a bag, but you just gotta refocus that energy to something else, man. This ain't it. Or that ain't it. What we got? Comments. Okay. The crazy part is this run has been so good that if you pretended like only these 5 albums were his whole career, he would still maintain his spot in the hip hop for me. That's a great comment. Yo, y'all rolling with that? If you took away Illmatic, anything prior to 2020, is Nas still top 5? I know you have him top 2, Eric. Is Nas still top 5 discography wise? We're not talking about singles and impact. I'm talking about discography wise of all the hip hop you've heard, solo artists. If you take away everything prior to 2020, you just took Nas and Hitboy's discography and you put it up against any other solo artist, is he still in your top 5? That is a great, I like that. I like that question. Not even a statement. That's good. Vanguardian TV, shout out to you for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna go listen to Black Magic just because you champion it today. I gotta go. I'm gonna play it back. Sure. Go through these comments one more. We got here. I'm still stuck on Magic One Ease. I think Nas should take a break and do a different production album like Life is Good. Who produces it? It's a good comment. And I mean that sincerely. Like, who would you have? Who would you line them up with next? Play that. We don't need a DJ premiere Nas album. The dynamics won't be there. We know he can rap. Yeah. We got that, man. They made magic. Well, not the album Magic. They made magic together. They got dope records, man. That's what I do with Nas and AZ. I just create a playlist. And anything they possibly would have done, they have a sound together. You know what I'm saying? So that's the album we gonna get because at this juncture, that ain't happening. Things he moved on. Motion sound crazy in the whip. Yes, it does. It does. Here we go. He's bro, I'm speechless, pun intended. They're wild for this one. Nas and the Hit need to turn this run into some type of Marvel music superhero series. This is just crazy. It's fire, man. It is, man. Yo, 5 albums in 3 years. We got to keep stating that because it's not normal. And it's not a stat where you creating a stat for the sake of it. This is not easy to do. It is not. And keep people's attention and the things that go along with it, the marketing, but not saying much. They don't talk much. They just work. Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot in here too, man. Guardian TV, I see you. Nasir Jones, Metro Boomin equal huge streaming numbers. Can we get another Metro project, please? Now, what you mean a Metro Boomin project solely, or are you talking about a Nas and Metro collaboration? I didn't realize how many fans Metro Boomin has, but he has. Listen, man, he has a following for real. Two critiques. The first three songs were mid, and Nas cadences average. Everything else was dope. First three songs, I'm guessing you're not counting the intro, right? So we're going Abracadabra, Office Hours, and Black Magic. All right. I happen to like Office Hours, but obviously I'm guessing you like everything else from Motion on down. That's a good percentage. This is a great comment because, yeah, I get crazy Wu Tang vibes from Motion. Yeah, just like the aesthetic, right? The sound of it. I can roll with that. The production for sure. I can roll with that. It's a great comment. Vanguardian TV. All right, so Metro Boomin and Nas collaboration. That could work. That could. I would much rather Joe Bros say to the Metro or Alchemist. If I had to choose the two, I'll go Alchemist. But at this point, man, only thing is if he decides to do projects with other producers, what's gonna happen is it's gonna make the dynamic between Hitboy and himself awkward. Not between those two, but I mean in the sense of the comparison. Oh, he did an album with Alchemist. It sounds 10 times better than him and Hitboy. And then if he go back to him and Hitboy working together, it's I already know how the comments on Twitter is gonna be. So I guess for him, it would probably be people nitpicking. So just stick to what's working. Because last time I him, yeah, no. Glorious was fire. That's the last time Alchemist and Nas had a song together, right? With Cormega. Glorious. That was last year. That was a fire record. No Idea Original, Book of Rhymes. Yeah, they got joints together. That could definitely work, but at this juncture, then he state by the time you hear this, they'll be halfway through the next joint. So who knows? What we got here? Nasir Jones fans should appreciate this run. Most rap artists at his age are not putting out any music at all. Definitely not, man. He changed the whole narrative on how you should he's not resting on his laurels. I think that's the easiest way to state it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just working, putting that pain in. And as a fan, I'm here for it. I'm definitely put this album on repeat and run it back. I seen Swiss Beats in the comment section. Absolutely not. No Swiss Beats. I agree. They've been there, done that. The Pop 50. Who else was slated? I know Dream had an album that was supposed to come out within the that they had planned, right? Primo did his, Swiss Beats. I know Dream. There was someone else. I know Adriel Green has sent me the link. So I know they're not done with that series. So that should be fire. Looking forward to that. We got here. The way he promoted his album had me thinking the sound was going to be different. What were you expecting? Like, what type of sound did you think it was going to be? Something similar to KD3 or Magic, or based off like the videos that he posted? Did you want a darker sound? I'm eager to know. Surprised there was no feature from any other Wu. Yeah. Which Wu member would you want him to collaborate with? Just choose one, because I know most people would say Ray and Ghost. Would you take a Nas and Inspector Deck joint? Nas and Meth don't have a joint either, right? Not that I can remember. Am I bugging? Do they have any joints on the Belly sound? I gotta go look at that again. I think I'm overlooking that. Here we go. Young modern day rappers should be embarrassed that a 50-year-old man is outworking them and still out rapping them. You're right. And this what happens as an artist and as a fan, if you're really paying attention, is one simple way to describe what's happening. He cares. This is what happens when you love something and you care. You treat it in a delicate fashion, or you Your focus is always, he has a laser focus, work ethic. Never get the sense that it's a money grab. When an artist cares, it's infectious. And whether you seem to like this album or not, you can't say that they cheated you. Yes, it was on the Belly soundtrack, right? Grand finale. Nas, Meth, and DMX. No, I wasn't bugging. Nas and Deck rapped together on Let My Ninjas Live from the W album. Ray was on there too. So at this point, we got to run it back with Ray Ghost or Deck or Meth, right? Who y'all selecting? I always thought Nas' appearance on some records with Ray took away from some outstanding verses that Ray had. Ray had some dope verses with features with Nas, but Nas was just, he outshined everybody else on the record. But it's a lot of verses that Ray had that didn't get the notoriety it deserved because of Nas's performance. Hip hop has given Nas a lot. Love that he appreciates that. That's a beautiful comment right there. Yeah. Yeah. That says a lot. That says a lot. And he's giving back too. Shout out to Lucky Lefty. I know he was mentioning how Heavy D may not be getting the props he deserves. Or do I believe that? He was mentioned on this album as well, right? Him, Heavy D and Dilla. So Nas is always giving tribute in some capacity, man. Shout out to the legends, RIP to those who are no longer here. He always takes the time to shed light on that. Ease. What if Nas and Master Pill team up with Black Sam and Stout with the I Am Doc with about an 8-track soundtrack of Nas and Nip and team up with some Hitboy, some Mike and Keys production? Listen, I'll be the first one in line. I'm copping vinyl, CDs, a cassette if it's available. I want all of that. I do that. Hit Mike and Keys are some of my favorite producers, man. Some of my favorite producers. And like you stated, that whole I Am Doc and the Nip connection, that could definitely work. Now, the whole thing is, would you prefer that, your suggestion, or would you take the I Am a re-release and it's the way it was intended to be released prior to the leak? So would you take that project that you suggested, or would you take the I Am double CD prior to the leak and just re-release it as a fan? Which one would you cop first? MC, what up? Easy, you believe in the next 100 years that hip hop artists will be considered as the great American writers? They will be mentioned on this in the same breath as Shakespeare, etc. Studied in school. Well, some people will definitely be studying in school. But you know, Nas had the Harvard Fellowship. You have DJs or producers such as the Ninth Wonder who's teaching at Duke. So it all, the thing with teaching nowadays, as you can see, is all about perspective, right? What we willing to acknowledge, or I could see that happening. I could see that happening. But who would you pull from that? Because not all dope hip hop artists are those who accumulated numbers with regards to record sales or notoriety are great writers. How many great writers do we have in hip hop who have enough work to even be studied? Somebody from Nas Camp or Columbia or Sony, someone has to be listening, because this comment has been taking place since I've been even putting content on this channel. Many people feel this way. It seems like a layup, right? It seems so simple. They need to formally release I Am as intended. It'll be a special release collaboration by Sony and Masterpill. It makes the most sense. It makes so much sense. And if I were them, exclusively on vinyl or CD. Don't even allow it to be streamed. The way it was intended early on. A box set or something, right? Make it feel as though, like, because people are connected to that, man. I want to see how it's supposed to play out. It's a no-brainer. I don't like how long are they gonna wait for that? I'm rolling. I'm gonna let that sit there. Y'all can read that on your own, man. I'm rolling with this. The original track list, that would have been the greatest double CD ever, hands down. JB, you right. Common is a great American writer or a great hip hop writer that could be studied. Nas, but it's gonna be hard for us to get because think about the entire how long hip hop has been around, 50 years. What they're doing that highlights just how great they are if you really pay attention. Because we could struggle to name 5 or 10 based on how many artists have participated in the genre. Nas is a great storyteller. Next April was 20. Oh, next April was 25 years. That's a no-brainer, man. I think everybody should go to their Twitter and just go crazy and add. It makes they have to know that at this particular moment they have to know that it just makes so much sense. And people, like I stated, as long as I've been uploading content on this page, people have been stating that, and we're just supporters. We don't even get paid for this. It just makes so much more. I don't get it. This is a great question. What makes you think people would appreciate that double album? Look how many good albums he released that gets fronted on. That's why I stated that I don't think the play should be for streaming numbers or even put it on streaming sites. That should be a collector's item. CD or vinyl in a box set, and those who really want it, go to the website and cop it. And I guarantee you, because so many people love that album, those who really appreciate, because think about this. If you take away streaming, right? Don't put it on YouTube, the majority of complainers won't even hear it because they don't buy nothing anyway. They don't cop nothing. They just sit around and complain. I don't like this. I don't like that. And the only reason you heard it because it's free. YouTube is like someone burning a CD 15 years ago. You may get a couple of pennies on the YouTube. I mean, on a stream off YouTube. But what I'm saying is that most people who listen on YouTube ain't gonna cop your project. Not everyone, but most people won't. They won't. It's convenient, but the people who always complaining about something, don't like anything, they don't buy anything at all. They don't. They just be complaining about nothing. You know how hard it was? Like, you remember back in the day, and I hate to sound like the old dude, but no. You got $15 and you go cop a CD and it's trash. The connection that you have to that, to where, you know what? I spent $15. I'm about to play this again. I'm gonna like something on it. I'm gonna play it back and play it back and play it back and play it back. If you don't have to cop anything, you don't have to support anything, it's just there. Of course you're gonna complain. Because you don't have no attachment to it. Nas is the undisputed GOAT in the alternate universe where I Am wasn't leaked. Mm. So you don't agree that he's hold on. Read that again. Nas is the undisputed GOAT in the alternate universe where I Am wasn't leaked. Would you call him the GOAT? Even with the leak? How do you feel about that? Who's your top 3? Ouch. I see you, Idle Gray. Yeah, they do try to front on lost tapes. That's why I ask ever so often, you count it as an album. I do, because I think it was recorded in the same time frame. Yeah. Big facts. Original I Am would be one of the best double disc storyteller albums of all time. I just think it makes so much sense, man. They got to do that. This is a great point. They can redo the beats, and Nas owns his publishing, so he can rewrite his lyrics, just like Taylor Swift did her old albums. I would much rather them do it just the way it is, whatever they have, just put it up there. But that's a great point, though, because I didn't even think about even the streaming joint, how you could redo the music. Like even on office hours, if 50 decided I don't like that verse, I just want to redo it. They could literally re-upload office hours and he can have a verse with 16 bars. That's insane. We got cheated out the 50 verse. He's the ultimate troll. Yeah, that's crazy. Nas is the GOAT. I agree. Okay. I think he's saying that if I Am wasn't leaked, he would be undeniable GOAT in the mainstream. That's a yeah. Hold on. I think I seen the comment connected to that. Now it's making sense. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. Nope, because they would say it doesn't have hits. And that's a great point too. They always gonna move the goalpost. Yo, he ain't got nothing that rang off in the club. Or he don't have the hits. Or he don't got no shorty tracks. It's always something. Never mind, it was a conceptual album. They gonna skip over the obvious. Yeah, but whoever listening, somebody got to be listening. If you know someone who has a job at Sony, I Am double CD, release it. Adriel, you said what? April of next year? Why not? What are we waiting on here? I would cop that box set and take it old school. Put a poster in there too. Everything happens for a reason, though. This is a fact. Yes, it does. If I Am doesn't leak, there is no Stillmatic comeback. Nope. Battle with Jay, Takeover, Ether, not happening. All lost tapes. Also, if Kanye doesn't fumble Nasir, I believe Hitboy run doesn't happen. You are absolutely correct. I agree with that 100%. 100%. I do. I'm rolling with that. I'm rolling with that. Nas I Am autobiography double disc was sabotaged by the powers that be. I heard the original track list while blowing some trees one night, and after hearing the original track list, I was speechless. Yes, it's amazing. Everybody who had the bootleg, even the fans had it. We was ready. Was ready. But he got the power now. Once he owns his masters, he's in control of that. And then you can funnel it to your fans anyway, to the people who really want it. Stay Scheming is not a club track. Got the Kid Kanye production. Yeah, he went lazy on that sample flip. The Ye that we all know and love would have went crazy on that. Yeah, they melded in. Yeah, Sony, do the right thing. That's it. Y'all acting like 50 was a lyrical beast or something. He ain't rapped in years. Yes. Now you're right. He definitely hasn't rapped in years. But that's more of a reason to come out and go crazy. And it's another thing too. Lyrical beast in comparison to whom? Because Power the $1.50 was a writer, man. 50 got busy. He just kind of dumbed down what he does. But I can't even tell you the last time that his last album was what, Animal Ambition? That's 2014. That's almost 10 years. Because that's when they did they do Summer Jam together? Stay Scheming was definitely fire. Early 50 was nice. He dumbed down a lot. He did. He did. The original Project Windows with the piano. Yes, sir. Shout out to Carlos Brody. Who else was on that? Was that Nasheem Merrick? And then they had to go in and plush it up with the, what was it called? It wasn't called, I got it on my page too. I had re-uploaded it, but yeah, that was fire. It had the gritty feel to it, right? It had air in it, just space, fire. Nas over pianos, man. Nas over pianos, undefeated, purple. I don't think this is unpopular. You think, excuse me. A lot of people believe this, and I happen to be one of them. I love It Was Written. I love Illmatic too, but It Was Written. Uh, at this juncture, like something about that album changed the game. Changed the game. How about the Nas over live instrumentation? Nas over live instrumentation is undefeated. It's fire, man. That's it. Make sure I get every Shiesty. I seen the comment. Yeah, grand finale. Yeah, I know it was on the Belly soundtrack. Stillmatic though. That's a great analysis. I think Illmatic is better, but I've listened to It Was Written more. The thing with It Was Written for me, like sonically, what we talking, that's 96, right? The mix on that, it still sounds great. Not to say Illmatic doesn't. That would be blasphemous to state that. But like musically, I think I just think that he tapped into something, and at the time, like many people just didn't get it. But to see how it aged gracefully and how many people have changed their tune over that time is remarkable. It's remarkable. That would be dope. Nas feature run next. Who would you want to see him link up with? Last feature he had was who? I know he did with Toby. I can't pronounce his last name. I don't want to butcher it. But YG, I know he did a record with YG, but after that, I can't really remember the features he was doing. And I'm assuming you mean features somebody else's song, right? Not like the Spider-Man situation. Somebody said Illmatic production was lazy. I mean, it was written. It was written, got too much lazy production. I say Esco Nas was a much better MC than Nasty Nas. Which song on It Was Written was lazy, production wise? I'll be eager to know. Word? It Was Written as a movie. Yo, man. It was, we got to have a discussion about that as well, right? Armin. Oh, yeah, he did have it. You're right. You're right. You're right. Because I thought that record was better than the joint he did with Swiss Beats. Nas Is Coming. Oh, y'all didn't like that beat? But Nas was spitting on that. My God. I can only hope Nas will get with Rock Marciano. That would be dope. Yeah, Armin feature was very good. It was written as still Nas's best lyrical performance from start to finish. Yeah, that was like, yeah, he was in a different bag on that. From flow, lyric, just different. Nas coming beat lazy. Nah, I just think you know what it may have not matched the other production, but I don't think it was lazy. And he was going off on that, man. Let me write that down to listen to it. I gotta listen to it was written. Definitely go back to Magic as well. So, and that Dave East project. I think moving forward, Hitboy should remain the executive producer, but have some different producers come in to add variety to the sound, so the sound doesn't get stagnant. I think Adriel Green, you had a comment like this about 2 weeks ago as well. That's a good analysis. He has a dope ear, for sure. That probably could work. Anything they just both musical guys. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna work regardless. But for now we got Magic 2. We're gonna tune into that. At least for me, I gotta dissect it a bit more, get these lyrics under wrap. And but it's a solid project, man. 7 out of 10 for me is with regards to the tracks. Make sure I get to all these super chats, man. I don't want to leave anyone out. Yes, other people, Kida, Armani, Caesar, and some reggae artists. Dolce. Left field stuff, you know. Mm. K Dot, which I want that'd be interesting. Armani Caesar, some left field stuff. I can get with that. And you know what? That's probably something he would do because I don't think he's into the norm anymore. You know, I don't think so. That could definitely work. That's a great suggestion, man. And on top of that, I'm gonna say it again. Nas, Mass Appeal, Sony. Y'all heard it here. I know somebody here listening or watching. I am re-release, box set, CDs and vinyl. We got y'all. Trust me, people have been yearning for this forever. We will support it. It's a no-brainer. New media ease needed. Keep grinding. Salute to you, Mike H. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Had a great time discussing this album today or reacting to it. Definitely gonna do a review probably later this week. I'm gonna go listen to Black Magic and Abracadabra a little bit more to see if I can take anything away from it. But Office Hours, Motion, or King Woodbine, what it all really means, slow it down. Pistols on the album cover. One mic, one gun. 7 out of 10 for me. Shout out to Nas and Hitboy. Shout out to y'all, man. Saturday, about to log off, get the day started. I appreciate all of y'all, and probably go live in a couple of days. But once again, go listen to the music, enjoy it. Expectations, don't need that. Just enjoy the music, man. Go get yours. Yeah.